Hey guys, what's going on? John here, back again with another Magic the Gathering video, and in today's video we're going over the Commander 2019 deck Faceless Menace, which is the Morph Tribal deck. This deck was fully spoiled on the Command Zone podcast yesterday. You can find the full deck list on the Wizards of the Coast website or on MTG Goldfish. The commander is a Kadena Slinking Sorcerer, which costs 1 and then 1 of each color of Sultai colors. For a legendary creature, Naga Wizard, 3/3. The first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. And whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Basically, you get a free morph every turn. And when you cast a morph, you draw a card. Sounds like a great deal to me. We won't have to play Animar Morph decks anymore, which sounds like a bad thing, but let's be honest, Animar Morph is more like arch enemy than actual commander, so it makes for much more fun gameplay. This is a much more casual commander deck. The other two commanders that are possible for the deck are Ryami, First the Fallen, which just likes creatures to die. It's some sort of graveyard hate, but it's also giving itself every ability under the sun. And Volrath, the Shape Stealer, geez, I cannot speak English, likes either -1/-1 counter tribal, or copying, just copying creatures with counters on them. So like Experiment Kraj decks with mainly +1/+1 counters. So the main reason I want to talk about this is the prices of the deck, because I just really like going over the prices, and last year was a letdown, so let's see what the prices are like. Whoa, that's a lot of value. Yeah, so the most expensive cards in this deck. First of all, we gotta go with the big hitter here, Seedborn Muse. Even though it's been reprinted multiple times recently, it's still $9.99. It's the highest value reprint in the set, and you know it should be. It allows you to untap all of your permanents during each other player's untap step. Couple that with Vidalcan Orrery, that's just a turn on each of your opponent's turns. That's insane value. Then we have Tempt with Discovery, which is like ramp that can ramp your opponents too, but if your opponents want to ramp with it, then you can ramp more. So the reason it's a tempting offer mechanic, I think, is because it seems like, it's a tempting offer for your opponents. It seems like they might really want to do that. But then when they do it, it doesn't work out so great for them. Why is my Steam icon jumping around? I hope you guys can't see that on screen, but if you can, I hate you, Steam. Go away. Anyway, the next most expensive is Thran Dynamo. It's $5.83. It's a mana rock, 4 mana, and taps for 3 colorless. It's just pretty good value. Hasn't been reprinted since Iconic Masters, so it's good that it gets a reprint. It missed the reprint train in Commander 2018, which was unfortunate, because it probably would have been the highest valued card in the set, let's be honest. Soul Ring, $4.69, gets reprinted every Commander series, and for good reason, because it is the most played card in Commander. You pay 1 to put it out, and it taps for 2 colorless mana. What a deal! Next up, we have Hooded Hydra. That is it's worth $3.79, and it's a creature that costs X green, and you can morph it for 3 green. And if you morph it, it enters the battlefield with 5 +1/+1 counters. If you just pay its X cost, it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters. And when it dies, you put X 1/1 snake creatures on the battlefield, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Then we've got Strionic Resonator. It's worth $3.61. You can pay 2 and tap it to copy a triggered or activated ability. Obviously, a great card to have in some sort of morph deck. Vraska, the Unseen, $3.35. It's a reprint from Return to Ravnica. It's obviously just a really good card all around, so I'm glad I got a reprint on this, adding some value and some good removal alternate win cons for this deck. Ash Barrens, $3.27. It's a land that taps for colorless, and you can pay 1 and basic land cycle it. So you discard it and grab a land. Then finally we've got Sunken Hollow, which is annoyingly slightly off the screen. It's worth $3, and it's a Battle for Zendikar tap land. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Anyway, let's move on to the reprint value. So we've got 3 categories here. Cards that hold value, which are cards that are worth $2 or more, semi-bulk, cards that are worth $1 to $2, and bulk, less than $1. We have a whopping 18 cards with value, which is absolutely insane for a Commander Precon. The last time we've seen that was probably Commander 2017, which doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was probably the best Commander set that's ever been released anyway. Commander 2018 didn't have nearly that kind of value. We only had 8 semi-bulk cards, probably because we had so many cards with value that they were like, whoa, we gotta cut it back here, or else we will literally be giving these people just a value train, and they can just flip these things for so much more money than they buy them for. So they had to cut down the semi-bulk, but still, there's a decent amount, 8 cards. We've got 40 bulk cards, not counting basic lands. So obviously, you're going to have a lot of bulk cards in any Commander deck, really. But especially in a Commander Precon, they can't be throwing so much value into it. This isn't even counting like all the cards that are just being released for the first time in this deck. There's a lot of really cool ones, like Volrath the Shapestealer is a really cool card, and I think Kadena will also hold a good amount of value. There's some other cards in the deck that will also hold a good amount of value. So let's talk about the total reprint value. $96.82. Wow, that is some great value right there. And like I say on screen here, it doesn't even take into account these great new cards. Like 4 legendary creatures. There's another legendary creature other than the 3 in Sultai colors. And then cards like Thought Sponge, which would work great in +1/+1 counter tribal. It would be an automatic staple in that card. And Scare Tiller, which is just an amazing piece of ramp, especially in some sort of deck that can convoke or find a way to tap it with something like Glare of Subdual. And it's just generally great early game ramp, so it will also probably turn into a Commander staple. So my thoughts on this, really. Value. I think the value on this is just really good. It's just an absolutely great product. So much better than Commander 2018. So I guess I'm answering the real question in this one. So much better than Commander 2018. Don't think it's as good as something like Commander 2016 or Commander 2017, but definitely has a lot of value, a lot of great cards in this. And obviously we'll have to watch for the rest of the decks to see if they keep holding this value. Is it playable out of the box? Yes, absolutely. Seeing all the cards we got reprinted, Hooded Hydra, Den Protector, Grim Haruspex, it's a well-functioning Commander deck out of the box. Now, can you give it upgrades? Absolutely. There are some great upgrades out there to give it. But I think a lot of the best morph cards, and even I'd say most of the best morph cards, they already reprinted in this deck, making it a very playable deck for what it wants to do, and I think just very good at just being a competitive, I say competitive, but in a casual setting, Commander deck straight out of the box. You can have a lot of fun with this, whereas like decks like Commander 2018, the Enchantment deck was just basically unplayable out of the box. I mean, it worked, but it didn't. It worked, and it worked all right, but if you took it to any Commander game, not even just casual, you just get blown out of the water. And I think the Lord Windgrace deck was the best, pretty much solely because of the commander, but it still would get blown out of the water by any sort of decent constructed deck. This deck, however, is just really strong out of the box, and even though it can have some upgrades, I think it's got a lot of really good cards just in the base of the deck. Now, long-term value. I think this deck will hold a lot of long-term value. Obviously, Seedborn Muse. That's a card that will not drop below maybe $8, even with its reprint in the set, just because it's just such a strong card and so many people want it. And I think a lot of people will be buying it too, which will drive up the value even more. They'll be buying it because it'll be getting a little cheaper, and then people will seize that opportunity to purchase some Seedborn Muses, and that'll kick the value right back up. Things like Thran Dynamo, Sol Ring, those always have held value, always will hold value, because they're really, really strong cards in Commander. Strionic Resonator, again, obviously we've got the lands that are expensive. There's a good bunch of lands that are in the cards with value section, and those will hold their value just because just good multicolored lands are very sought after in Commander and even Modern, and so we want those lands, and they stay at high prices. So I think the long-term value of this deck will stay very high. Also, that's not even counting the new cards that have been printed, and I think Volrath specifically will hold a lot of value long-term, and Kadena will also hold a fair amount of value. Those two cards will help kick up the long-term value, because those cards have nowhere to go but up, because they're probably never going to be printed again. The last thing I have on here is, will I buy it? Absolutely. So even before I started seeing the spoiler cards and only knew the mechanics, I knew immediately the deck I wanted to buy the most was going to be the Morph deck. And I have not been disappointed by this. This deck looks absolutely amazing, great fun to play, and I don't think it needs that many upgrades to be really good. Although it can't be really good, it's more of a casual commander. But it would be great to play in a casual setting with a couple upgrades, and even without a couple upgrades. So the answer to that question is yes, 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 I will buy it. Absolutely, no question, no hesitation, it's a great product. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, slap a like down below. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Once I hit 50 subscribers, we're going to be doing some fun box openings, Commander deck techs, just do a little bit of a series there. Just a couple videos right in a row for 50 subscribers. And I know that's not a huge milestone, but it's a huge milestone for me because I've been working at YouTube for about 3 years, and I only started doing Magic content about 9 months ago, and, I've obviously grown a lot while I've been doing Magic content. That's when my stuff's been, kind of catching on, obviously not really. Going, 600 views on my most viewed video, but, still, I really enjoy making content for you guys, and if you guys subscribe, I don't even have monetization on these videos, but I could if I get enough subscribers, and it would allow me to continue doing this. My Patreon is currently down right now, so if you guys attempted to go there right now, it wouldn't really work, so I'm not going to advertise my Patreon, but once it's back up, I will tell you guys, and you guys should go support me down there. It's a great way to continue to fund this channel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.